Are we good? Going? I think it's going. Um, Dang, this place is looking artsy. Where are you at right now, Grace?
This is my parents' basement. This is where I live.
Nice.
Is
Nice.
that all your shit though? I assume, like your art.
No, up on the wall, that's all their stuff. All these boxes are mine because I should be moving out again at the end of January, I think.
Oh,
So,
so they're into some cool art too.
oh yeah, my mom is. She's not as edgy as me, but
Yo, what
Uh,
did you train today, Grace? You train legs? What'd you do?
I well actually one of my friends, I was supposed to work out with him earlier this week, and then we were like, let's just go get food instead. And he like sent me everything that he was doing, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just fucking do one of these workouts. So it was just like leg extensions, front squats, um, lunges, hamstring curls, supersetted with straight leg deadlifts, and um, then calves.
Nice.
That's the first time I've done calves in years.
I've been doing calves
And
twice a
then
week.
yeah, and then I just did 20 minutes on the elliptical, and then I was done.
Nice. That doesn't sound bad.
I just use my superior genetics for these enormous calves.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I used to like think that training calves was pointless when I was younger. Like, because I was just like, there's no fucking hope. But now I've been training them consistently for like a year and a half, and they're like night and day difference. Like, they're way better than they used to be. So
I'll tell you, ankle stability that comes with it is huge.
yeah, and you just gotta train them like everything else, dude. Like, I train them with progressive overload. I fucking like, I go heavy sometimes. I go light for high reps sometimes. Like, I don't treat it like an afterthought. Like, I train it. You know what I mean?
That's what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Absolutely, what you gotta
Have you been out of the gym this week, man?
do. Yeah, I mean, I was traveling this week, so I was in upstate New York until yesterday. And then last night, Lily had a meet, so we just went to that, came home, chilled. Was gonna go and drag the sled today, but then some kind of crazy stuff happened. Lily had two of her teammates tested positive for the vid, and so now we got to deal with like the program possibly being shut down for the season. And it's like, well, I'll go pick up for practice and deal with all that. Yeah, don't get me started.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Anyway, you know what I mean. Like, after you just competed, if you even if you plan to go in, if you miss it, it's like whatever. I usually take a
I had
full
bands with me up there, which was nice.
Yeah, I usually take the full week, and then the second week usually do like the most bullshit stuff. Like, I'll go in and do like just like high rep like arm workout or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Right,
just
exactly.
some BS.
Yeah.
And then I try. It doesn't always go this way because you guys know how it is. Like, you get tempted, but I try to take like a whole month off a barbell, but usually that ends up being more like 2 weeks, and then I'm like, I could do like some light squats or something. You know what I mean? And then you end up just like kind of getting back into everything.
Yeah, I probably won't touch like a straight bar for at least a month, but my gut says if not tomorrow, then by next Sunday, I'll probably be at least on a camber bar or something like that.
Doing what? Good morning.
Probably some high rep type stuff. That's usually what we like to do is after a meet, and you're kind of in the quote unquote off season. A lot of high rep raw work. I maybe throw my brace on once a week. That's it.
Oh yeah, damn, buddy, your eyes are blown out.
Dude, it is like intense.
Wow.
And it got progressively
blown
worse
out.
like throughout the week. The people that I was training up in New York were like, dude, like, are you okay? Like, I'm fine. Like, shit happens.
Why don't you tell us about your we chatted a little bit, but why don't you tell us about your first equip meet experience?
Fuck, man, how much time we got?
Well, don't get too crazy.
Yeah, no,
but no, I mean,
like,
like,
go full strength and anger on you.
Like, how were you feel? Like, was there like, did you go through a different process like that day compared to when you normally compete, or what?
No, like I just did my normal thing. I think the biggest difference is like, Stan, we fed me pretty heavy into the meet, which was great.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel like depleted or anything like that. My gear felt as perfect as it's gonna feel.
Yeah.
I think knowing that it's my first meet too, it's like I just still don't know what that actually feels like.
Did you have trouble like timing your warm ups and stuff? Because I feel like it takes way longer to fucking warm up.
I mean, the nice thing is like the Wolfpack, we were rolling pretty deep. I mean, we had like 8, 10 people there, so I had tons of experience. And once I walked through with Sean and Steve what our warm-ups were, and we just bang, 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 knocked them out. We had probably half a dozen of us who were all in the latter part of Flight B that we all just rotated together. So it was every 6, 7 minutes we were all taking warm-ups.
Nice.
Take a little break, everybody gets their shit on. So I think I took my last warm-up, I think that was 800 at right as they were ending flight A. Then I had 15 minutes until my next attempt.
Yeah, I always like to start warming up like a little bit too early, and then like because you can always slow down if you need to.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And that way there's like no pressure, or if people start like if a bunch of people all of a sudden are on your monolith, like if you go to a meet and there's like 2 monoliths and everyone's trying to warm up, if you start way early, like sometimes I'll start with
nice thing is at 2XL there's 4 monoliths.
That's nice. That is nice.
That's so nice.
Yeah, because sometimes you end up having to start with like the flight before you, and then just slow down accordingly if like everything's moving too slow. But how about like the prep? Did you find the prep was way more brutal?
Yeah, I mean it was just different. Like it's just a different tax on my CNS, and once like all the heavy work was done, it was a pretty intense day, the last heavy squad day. So that was unique. And then, but also having all my heavy work done basically 10 days plus out, that was a little unique. That was different than kind of what I'm used to.
Yeah.
But then like I went into the week, I'm like, I was probably less stressed for that meet than I've ever been for a meet ever, which is weird.
That's awesome.
And it sounds like I was the opposite of Grace from what I'm hearing from the but it was like I looked at the roster. I'm like, I know almost either over the internet or in person. I know almost every single person on this roster. The people on the pre-sale tickets.
So tight.
I know almost all these people. Like again, personally, and it's like I'm just having a huge lifting session with my friends, and
that's
the big difference is my mom.
Yeah.
My mom gets to be there. That was the only difference. My mom gets to be there.
I've done a couple meets up in New Hampshire where like you show up and literally know everybody, and you're just like, oh fuck yeah. And there's no like it. Yeah, it does feel like a training session almost.
That's exactly what it was. Like I know that, end of the day, like there's a lot of positive vibes coming my way, and vice versa to all the other lifters, because we had a lot of other folks doing their first multiply meet, Pitbull. It was awesome. Like it was just so fucking cool. So it was probably the biggest load off my back was that, and then once I got that opening squad, it's like, dude, we're in this. Let's fucking go.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, it takes a lot of
pressure. Scared the hell out of everybody. I almost bombed on bench.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I mean, usually I feel like with bigger dudes, like butt coming up's not an issue, but you must have like fairly flexible hips.
I got a decent amount of mobility. I got a pretty solid arch, and yeah, I just rushed everything on the first one. And the second one, I actually watched the video. There was the butt came up a little. There's definitely a little up and down. So if they didn't get me on the butt, they're going to get me on that.
Do you go flat foot, like feet out front, or do you tuck your feet?
I have now for a few years, and we talked about it because I started with my feet tucked behind me.
Yeah.
And then there was some talk way before I decided to go multiply that I was going to jump to the USAPL, and I knew we needed to have the flat foot, so I switched to that. And I'm like, at this point, there's no real reason for me to do, so we're going to fiddle with that during the off season and see, like, should we stay flat and just kind of turn my heels out because that keeps my butt down, or should we tuck them underneath and see if we can get that to work?
Yeah, heels turned out and then going like wider.
Yeah, so that's what I did on my third, and basically armed it up just to be safe to make sure we got got it in. So
I'm trying to. I know, like, man, that's crazy, dude. Like, I cannot lift my ass if I want to when I'm laying on the bench, because like my hips get tight in that position. You know what I'm saying? Like my hip flexors.
Yeah.
Because you have to have like some play in the hip flexors when you're laying back like that for your butt to lift. You know what I'm saying?
I got some pretty mobile hips.
Yeah, I guess so. I certainly don't.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but I do.
I don't think it's good that I don't, but I just don't. But it's nice. I mean, well, my bench is shit regardless, but I don't have like, I would never have the butt problem on bench just because I just can't. I can't do that. But I used to. Go ahead.
My mom joked about it. She's like, "You have an ass that big and your butt still came up, honey. Like, what the hell?" That's my mom telling me that. I'm like, "Thanks, Mom."
You could rock like the poopy diaper singlet, like just get a really big singlet.
Well, I got a triple X singlet. And it still is like filled out. Like, God damn it.
Yeah, the singlet that I wear is a 2X,
Yeah.
and it's like I fill it out pretty well.
Yeah, because they kind of like
They bring it
they're
in.
elastic,
Yeah.
so they kind of
Yeah.
you would need
They
like
say
a
it's made
really
for a
droopy
308.
one.
I'm like, so we hiked it up for my third pretty well. So there was a little bit of droopiness, but yeah, it's stretchy. So
Yeah. What happened on your squats?
first one went well. Second, I wasn't quite centered, so when I stood up, I tipped a little bit, but let it settle. Everything felt good. It moved, especially out of the hole, really, really well. And then on the 1,003, I picked, and I felt the pick was decent, but I started tipping backwards. So I had him grab me. I had not gotten the squat command yet, and I still had like 17 seconds. So Stone said, "Hey, if you want to try to pick, you can go ahead."
Were you pissed that
And
you
I
didn't
just-
squat 1,000? Like I don't think you should be pissed, but were you pissed?
I mean, of course, but
Yeah.
add to that,
You will have
I
so many more.
I picked it twice.
opportunities.
Yeah, I picked it twice. I gave it a run. I absolutely hit depth. I mean, part of it because I then dropped down and told him to catch me, so I definitely hit depth. But how many lifters in their how many lifters period get to sniff 1,000? How many lifters in their first multiply meet get to even think about 1,000? And how many actually take a fucking run at it? And like I did all those things, and not that it matters, but you throw in there that I'm an older guy. I'll be 40 next year. I don't have some of the extra recovery some guys
Natty
do. Like
King.
Pump the brakes, player. But just, I mean, actually for 21, yeah, I am. I have the biggest total of all the natty guys that I multiply. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So like, I can't be mad at that, but am I still pissed at myself for not getting it? Absolutely.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. I wonder how he's feeling right now. You know what I
I mean,
mean? Because
I
like
was mad,
what
but-
you did, you should definitely be proud of. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But
Sure.
I know if I was in your shoes, I'd be like, fucker, like it was right. You know what I mean? Because you squatted that too in training, a little more than that as well. I think, right?
Yeah, and Sean and I had a pretty long conversation about it before the meet. Was like, you can't put those numbers on a pedestal necessarily. Like they're important. Don't get me wrong. Like, you should achieve those numbers and want to go after those numbers. But when you put certain things on a pedestal, it becomes such a big deal. You make such a big deal out of it in your mind.
Yeah.
That it's real easy to shit the bed. And like one of my problems, I like to read my own headlines, and so you have all this stuff on a pedestal. You think you're really great. It's like, cool. You still got to go do all the shit and you got to do all the work. And if you don't, then you're going to fuck it up.
Dude,
So
it's this weird thing that happened. You guys ever have like, it happened to me a lot when I was like more of a beginner lifter. Like I would deadlift like say like 485 or something for like 2 reps. And then I'd be like, oh, I'm going to try 500. And when I was like young, like 500 was like a huge number that I had in my head. Like, oh, I need to do that.
Sure.
And then I'd like fail deadlifting 500, even though I could pull 485 for 2. And I think it's literally just because I would walk up to the 500 and get too anxious. Like, oh, I need to do this.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
That you just end up fucking something up. And then it's just like, it just doesn't go your way. You know what I mean?
I mean, I felt confident walking up to that bar. Like I wasn't like, oh my God, like here we fucking go. But then tipping backwards and just rushing that, because I really couldn't count that 17 seconds in my head. So when I watched the video, I still had like 9 seconds left to pick it up and get the squat call. So I was like, I probably could have slowed down a little bit, but I took a swing at it my first meet and won my last one, and it will happen.
Hell yeah. What about you, Grace? What happened on the squats? You told me, but
Stuff that was out of my control,
yeah.
I got my opener fine and it moved really well, and then I went for my second attempt, which would have been like a 5-pound PR or whatever. And unfortunately, like I was not centered. And I picked it up and I was like, oh, this is really off. So then
You said
I
it was like
re-racked
pretty bad off centered, yeah.
Yeah, if you look at the video, it is dramatically to my left, like big time.
I didn't get any videos from either of you. I guess I should look on your Instagram.
I posted my I put my opener with the meet recap or whatever. But
I'm definitely one to like when I go buy a post, if it's like a swipe post, I just look at the what's there and then like it and then move on. Or even if I read the caption, I won't like swipe through. You know what I mean?
Well, you swipe through and saw the picture of me and my mom, so.
No, you posted that separately.
I did, didn't I? Yeah. You're right.
Well, I honestly, I purposefully put my bench first because I was like, I don't give a fuck about this squat. And yeah, cool, I hit a PR on my deadlift, but I don't really give a fuck about that either. So
yeah,
you watched what I wanted people to watch.
Yeah.
You controlled the narrative, just like the media.
Oh God.
Pinpoint that.
And then, well, I re-racked it, and then I tried to like figure it out, recenter myself, and I picked it up again, and it was just so off. I started to go for it, and as I was going, I was like, nope, this is a bad decision. So I just put it back. And my third attempt, I did it. Laura centered me, so it was fine. And then, I squatted it, and as I was coming up, I started going into my really bad hip. And it started just fatiguing, and I was just like, I was like, I'm not gonna push this either, so I stopped.
That's sketchy when you start shifting around.
Yeah. Fan knows this, but like, I didn't even take my last squat in prep because I at that point my hip was so bad that I couldn't even unrack weight. So I was lucky that I was able even to squat, and that I got a squat in at that point. So
you're the meat.
Like I said,
yeah.
Stuff was out of my control, and I'm not mad about it. It's just, it is what it is.
You had an insane bench though.
I did. That's really all I cared about.
That bench was sick.
Bain.
What was the exact number?
So I finished with, it was like 407.8 or something like that.
Yeah,
that's fucking dope.
It was. I did my opener 370, and Laura was like, what do you want? And I was like, go 400.
Load it up. Let's go.
Yeah. I was like, so it was like 402, and I got that, and I was borderline in tears because, it was one of those things that you've wanted for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, like now what? And she was like, well, how did it feel? And I was like, it felt heavy. So
did that feel like it made the whole prep worth it? Because I know we talked a little during your prep that you were like kind of like you were like wanting to go through with it but not really feeling it. You know what I mean? Like you kind of dragged yourself through prep.
I did. I was very checked out of prep. I didn't care anymore. I was like, I need to do this because I said I was going to do it. And, I would really like to have the opportunity to get this bench done.
Yeah.
And I think I would shoot myself in the foot more if I didn't do it and didn't go for it. And then just to always kind of have that lingering thought of like, well, I probably could have done it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I just told her, I was like, well, let's just go 407 next because the 402 felt heavy, but I was like, so I'd rather get something than miss it at like 413 or something. So it was a small jump, but it was a good jump. So,
sure. So
yeah.
Wait, so you took 2 attempts at 400 or more?
Mm-hmm.
That was what you're saying? Holy fuck.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know that, I don't think. Because I knew I knew you did I think I only saw your last attempt video and I was just like, sick. That's a huge bench. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I went 370, 402, 407. And if I ever end up coming back, I'll definitely be coming back for bench only. So
there you go. No deadlifts?
My deadlift is such a joke. I get to deadlift and I'm like,
you don't want to pull 500? Oh, hold on. I got to turn the heat off. Otherwise, you guys are going to be hearing that the whole time.
I don't think it's in my, it's not in the cards for me to ever really touch 500 in my opinion, but.
Well, Grace, I will politely disagree, but I also get mess up everybody at all times because that's just who I be. So I will politely disagree with you, ma'am.
Is that mad loud? Can you guys hear that or no? Okay, good.
Very, very minimal.
Hopefully it's not coming through on the recording. I turned the, you know what's funny is like 2 minutes ago I was thinking like, damn, I should turn the fucking thermostat off so the heat doesn't kick in because there's a vent like right under me. And I was like, It hasn't kicked it. Like I think it just turned off. It won't come back on for a while, and then it turned on. But once it turns on, even if you turn it off, it like finishes that cycle. Fuck! I should have got up 2 minutes ago.
All good, man.
Well,
I'm waiting for my dog to lose her shit because she's like sitting right by the door right now, and she hates when I'm outside on the porch and she's not here with me.
that's your podcast spot. You podcasted with us last time from the porch. On the
Yeah, this is perfect, man. It's my quiet place. Like you can turn out. Got my yard.
Dude, you got
so
a big
nice.
ass yard. Jesus.
It's not bad.
Is that your garage?
No, the back here that's my neighbor's garage. So our garage actually is attached to the house. It's a storage area versus a garage. Neither one of our cars fits in it.
Weren't you working out in there for a while?
We were. Yep. We had. That's where the distal happened. Was in that garage.
Nice. Bicep tear for people who don't know.
Yeah.
So what'd you say? 500? You gonna deadlift that? No. You have any aspirations of that?
No.
Even as a gym lift, I think it's there.
Yeah, I mean, as gym lift, but I have no desire to get back into gear. So.
Well, maybe raw, conventional.
Oh my god.
You never know. Hey, if you stop like squatting and beating up your CNS that way, you'd be surprised. You might be like, damn, my deadlift feels good. The way I've been gauging my deadlift is I've been doing it at the end of my hamstring glute low back day. So I do it when I'm when I'm dead, and I'm still like progressing it. So like, when I throw this back at the beginning of the workout, it's gonna be ridiculous. If I decide to, which I think I might soon. I want to
just remember, never's a long time. Never's a very long time.
Yeah, exactly. I think I'm gonna do a little push pull meet just for shits and giggles. I was telling Grace I want to just do like a local meet with a bunch of newbie lifters, because like I kind of miss that scene where like everyone's new and excited about it, and not like
there's gonna be a bunch up there.
There's nobody like jaded and like fucking or like thinking they're the shit or whatever. Like when you go to those local meets, it's funny because everyone's just like not knowing what the fuck they're doing. They're just like having a good time. So I want to go to something like that and just kind of like enjoy myself and remember why. Yeah. Like, yeah, this is like what made me like start liking powerlifting. You know what I mean? Because
well,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say that. I mean, obviously at Sweatshop, like that's how all of our meets, in my opinion, feel like we're all just kind of like hanging out. But I really liked that at 2XL because it was like I did know a lot of people there. Some people I had no idea who they were, but like I felt like me, Cosette, and Vanessa were just like hanging out, having a good time, like, and that's all it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it when you can go to meets and it's just like you and your friends and you're just
big family reunion, basically.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I tell people like when like especially the women's program, like as you know that begins to get really hyped up over the next few months. Like I don't know a person that can really describe that atmosphere. Whether you're a spectator, whether you're staff, whether you're a lifter, like I don't know that people can really describe what that's like if they don't go.
Yeah.
I honestly would have to say, like, I've never been to any sort of like big raw meet, like the Kern or whatever, the big, the big ones. But I would have to argue that I think that the Pro-Am has an uncomparable energy to it.
Absolutely.
It is just.
I haven't either, so I don't know. Yeah, but the Pro-Am's insane.
I've been to the USAPL deal at the Arnold, like pre-COVID, and that's actually like that's off the chain. That's crazy, right?
Yeah, you're right. I was there when Blaine Sumner did that first like 1,100-pound squat. It was that meet. They do like multiple meets there, but
they do two. They do one back in the back area, like by where the WPO was, and then they also do like a bench only up on the Rogue stage.
So they had a full power up on the Rogue stage, but the weird thing was it was only like maybe 15 lifters, probably less, and it was like a speed meet. Like everything was just like.
Was that the one where they had like everyone had to do like all the non like pro lifters or non highlight lifters were like lifting in the back, and then if you were like one of the highlight lifters, they brought you on stage?
Possibly.
Okay.
Possibly. I forget the name of it. But they had the dude, the announcer guy that's like, the pirate guy. They had Blaine squatted out there. They basically just had like
Spotters are better than pirates.
they had like the top like full power guys out there.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. Like half of them were like single ply guys. But yeah, he did that 1,100-pound squat, and they fucking cranked the music way up, and it was just like the energy there was pretty insane.
But there's still like, even in those, like whether it's there, the Kern, the USO, like Showdown, like there's still like factions of people, like, oh, like I'm like, not saying that people completely dislike you, like I'm Team Hack or I'm like Team Penson, like there's still like kind of those groups within there. Versus like I've seen the pro-am in the 2 days I was there, just observing that, like it is literally all for one. Whoever's on that platform, like the entire building is.
I would agree with
sending
that.
vibes to that lifter. It's so crazy. Like it's just so unique to any of I've ever seen.
It's unique.
I was gonna say at like the two, like this just meet that I was at and all of our meets, I feel like there aren't really any like ego lifters. Like I've never been like there was nobody there that was like
not like the asshole ego lifters where like I always equate like Larry Wheels as one of those. Yeah, not at all. Not at all. We had some of those at the previous week's meet, at the Raw meet, which is interesting.
Not surprised by that, honestly.
Literally had a guy scream at one of the staff at 2XL because he had signed up for the meet 2 days before, and his information didn't transfer because it was after the deadline.
Nice.
You know,
classy guy.
One thing, if I'm being completely honest here, there's definitely something about this sport where I am just very much over the men in this sport. Not you guys, but like, I feel like there's
spill the tea, girl. Let's go.
I feel like there's just a lot of men that like just their egos are insane, and they just act very entitled. And then there's just like the really creepy ones that never leave you alone. Like it's like, get your shit together, or it's like, I don't know. And I just feel like this sport kind of gives an opportunity for men to behave badly, if that makes sense.
I do not disagree.
That's the same reason basically that I stepped back from, because I would have been making a lot more of an effort to get a new training crew and get back into it, because I had that like issue with my training crew, but I could have found more people, but like it was almost a good excuse to just be like, all right, I'm taking a break. But it's because I've just got like, I wasn't liking the culture of it, and I was like, I'm not really interested in being part of this,
right,
which is why I kind of want to go to a meet where I don't know anybody and everyone's newish, so they don't have like the egos, basically, you know what I mean?
The chips on the shoulder.
But yeah, it's I know exactly what you mean. I don't know if it's the sport is like a super like kind of macho like dick measuring contest, but I don't know if it's that, or I don't know if it's because of the hormones, or like a combination, or what, you know what I mean? But yeah, the egos are fucking crazy.
And I think that honestly the internet plays a lot into that too now.
Exactly where I was going to go with that. Like, because ultimately because look at context, right? Think of the people you know outside of the sport that when you talk about it, let's call this outside this hobby. That's what it is. We pay to do this shit, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So people outside of it, when you talk to them about it and they talk about, wow, that's just crazy, or I could never do that, right? Because this isn't relatable. It's not. And like, so people have this weird context, like, well, I do something that's unique. You do, but no one fucking cares.
Right. That's like, what I tell
no one cares about soccer. No one cares about powerlifting. Like, they don't care. Because how many times do you then ask, like, oh, so you like walk around like the little, like the suit thing, or like this when you pick it up over your head? Like, no one gives a shit. No one cares that you're strong. The only time they do is if they're like under something and they need you to help pick it up, or they want help moving. That's the only time people care if you're strong.
Yeah.
So for everybody that listens and thinks they're special, you're not.
No, I completely agree. I try to tell people all the time, even within, and people know. And I'm like, nobody gives a fuck that we do this. Like, only we care that we do this. Like, but nobody cares.
Nobody. But I care about you guys.
Yeah, I care about you guys.
Dude, don't get me wrong. I like a lot of people that I've connected with through powerlifting. It's just like, it seems like the more you get into it, the harder it is to avoid like kind of rubbing up against people that you like would rather just not see or not talk to, or like, but it seems like you almost get funneled into seeing them, like into situations where you're like, oh, gotta do, like, I don't know, I don't really know how to explain
you preach
it.
to the choir, my friend.
I'm not gonna like mention any people or names or anything in particular. It's just like, it's a little hard to explain without doing that, but yeah, I feel you, Grace. Like, it's just,
Well, I think that's just, I mean, that's just people in general, whether it's a sport or not.
Sure.
But because of the sport and this hobby and the meets that exist, like, because it's such a small community, you do constantly bump into people that you don't necessarily want to bump into. So, I mean, it is what it is. But I've always said that, I mean, really reflecting over these last 7 years, I was like, powerlifting has brought me so many good things, and it's brought me a lot of bad things too. But I mean, more than anything, I'm just really grateful for the people that I've met and that that I've made friends with. Because it's cool. Because it's like, oh, I may not like powerlift anymore, but say I want to visit like you and Bree in the future in Massachusetts. So it's like, we can just go hang out, lift, like do whatever, and it's not a big deal. And like, those are the friendships that matter, that are more than just the powerlifting side of it. So
it is crazy now. Yeah, like from traveling to meets and stuff and meeting people, it is crazy. You can like go to most states, and if you wanted to stay somewhere with a friend, you're like, oh, I know so and so from this place and so from this place. I mean, so you can just kind of show up places and like crash at people's places and stuff. Like, it's definitely cool like that for sure. Like, if I was gonna go out to Chicago or something, well, where exactly do you live, Bain?
We live just north of O'Hare, and we have literally like enough space to we could have 10 other people besides my family in our home, and it's very comfortable. We have a big enough space for that. So like, yes, you guys have a place to stay here.
Well, basically, yeah, what I'm saying is I would be texting you before I'd be looking for like an Airbnb. I'd be like, yo, what's up?
And then we're 30 minutes from the city on the train, and we're 30 minutes from 2XL. So like, place to train, place to go see the sights, place to go get pizza, and places to do other things away from everybody else.
I do have a couple gift cards from a client for Southwest. Maybe I'll fly out there.
Yeah, Southwest flies into O'Hare now, so you're 15 minutes from me. You used to fly into Midway and then to Schiphol Airport. So.
I would like to check out that gym. I haven't been there yet.
Dan is like, making plans.
Yeah. You froze.
That's what I tell people. That's what I tell people all the time now with this house. I'm like, I mean, I don't have necessarily the setup for like guests to stay there, but I was like, there's blow up mattresses, like people are welcome always. So.
yeah, or like a couch or something. I mean, I know what you mean.
Exactly.
Because we have a guest room, but there's been times where we've it's just long explanation, but we've had a bed and then not had a bed and whatever. But we also have just had people crash on our couch too. But we have a bed now. So.
Exactly.
We legitimately have the comfiest couch in our basement. Unbelievable. No one is safe from nap time on that couch.
What's going on with your internet, Bain?
I think the Wi-Fi is kind of jacked up. Somebody's probably watching. The kids are all streaming shit right now, so they don't care what I'm doing.
We can hear you pretty good, but we can't.
That's weird. That's weird. Well, I turned the camera off for a second, so maybe it's just still connecting. But give me 1 second, see if I can refire up the Wi-Fi. Because you guys like slowed down like crazy.
I should have ran some questions, but I forgot we were podcasting.
No, we should have.
So I texted you guys.
Whoopsies. For our $2,900 podcasting fee.
Yeah. What
was that, man? Like,
what do you guys for military families or something?
I mean, yeah.
I knew what you were. I knew what time it was, but I was just busting your balls a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it's also like it's a product of like work, because when you're talking to truck drivers, like you have to be very, very like detailed on like all the things that have to go on, because it's very easy for them to go, oh well, you didn't tell me that.
They don't understand if you can't tell a truck driver at 2:00.
This is a trucker's market, man. You tell them 2:00 and they show up at 2 a.m. Well, you told me 2.
It's 2 a.m. Yeah.
You owe me 12 hours of detention, so yeah, it's not good.
Oh.
Yeah. So
People
I've just gotten used to that.
Bain, are you there?
I'm still here.
Oh, okay. People always look at my phone and they're like, why the fuck do you have military time? And it's like, you guys, I live in a world of science. Like that's just what you do. You record everything like in military time. So
Oh, do
same
you have to
thing.
do that at work?
Yeah, we record everything that way.
Damn. See, I don't have to worry about a miscommunication with a client. If I tell them I'm seeing them at 2 o'clock, they're not going to think it's 2 a.m. You know what I mean?
There will come a time, Stanley. There may come a time.
I guess if I told them like 6, they could possibly think 6 p.m. But I just
6 or 6, 7 or 8. Those
see.
are always
There's a good trick to that you can add after the 2 o'clock. You can write a.m. or p.m. You know what I mean?
There's a good trick. That's a nice trick.
And so you assume that people are going to understand that, and that's my thing. I just don't assume. Leave very minimal opportunities for error.
Hey, so if I come to Chicago, are you doing my workout or am I doing yours?
Oh, you're doing mine.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense.
Yep.
But then if you come here, you're doing mine.
Absolutely.
All right. That's fair. Yeah.
Yep.
I can see that logic.
I'm a guest in your house, man. Like we're doing what you do.
Right. I think I have.
That is a dope thing about traveling is like I travel for work so much, and always I have a gym I can go to where I know, like an actual powerlifting gym where I can go to and I can go train. So that is one of the blessings of travel.
You're right, though. I guess now that I think of it, whenever I've gone to someone else's gym, I just kind of am like, all right, what are we doing? That's the polite thing to do, I think.
Yep. Now I will tell you, when we go to Las Vegas, that is when it's no holds barred. That's just like, nope, everybody's maxing out. That's what we're doing. It's just, are we doing upper or lower?
What gym do you hit in Vegas?
Back Alley Barbell. It's Anthony Hobica and his fiance own that.
I don't know who that is.
And he finished runner-up at the WPO. He's an overkill guy. He and I met at the Showdown of the Storm last year, like one of the first meets back after things started to reopen. And we hit it off. And I was out in Vegas a few months later, and we just become this super, super close, me, him, and his fiance and my wife. And when they do their wedding celebration, I'll be standing up in his weddings. Like we just, over the last couple of years, just got super, super tight. And so whenever I'm there, we always go balls out and get stupid.
I'm interested in checking out that Dragon's Lair in Vegas, but I don't really have a reason I would go to Vegas, to be honest with you.
I mean, Planet 13 is a great reason to go. Just throwing it out there.
What's that?
World's largest dispensary.
Oh, really? Dude, I have a dispensary 3 minutes from my house.
20,000 square feet, and it's set up like an Apple store. Like it looks like an Apple store inside. It's so cool.
Now, let me ask you a question, and I feel like maybe this isn't the most appropriate question to ask on the internet, but do you actually get your shit from the dispensary? Because it's expensive.
When I'm in Vegas, I do. When I'm in Oregon, I do, because it's not expensive there.
Oh,
when I'm home, I do not.
Yeah, dude. So I don't know if it's not the same in every state, but here we have a 25% tax. So like, you go in and the prices are like pretty reasonable. They're maybe a little bit high, but you're like, yeah, this is pretty reasonable. But then like they hit you with the tax, and then it's super unreasonable. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, because think in Vegas, like they don't do sin taxes in Vegas because it's the city of sin. Like this is what it is. So it's a very nominal, like sales tax.
So that 25% is a state tax. Then you're telling me?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, what the fuck? I actually didn't know that. That would be cool if they actually like put it to good use, but you know how that goes.
It's the same here in Illinois as far as like the taxes on the stuff. So like the product is fairly reasonably priced, but the taxes are insane. You can get your med card and it reduces that, but it's still definitely a thing. But yeah, so when I'm home, no, I do not utilize the distribution system here. I
do think in Mass, if you have a medical card, you don't pay the 25% at all. I think it knocks it to zero, which is
there's some states that does that. Yeah.
Which like I said, dude, without the tax, the prices are actually pretty reasonable. Like they're not that much different from what you would pay if you just get them from somebody. But it's, I mean,
I'm pretty open about like, most things about what, my usage, whatever. Once I kind of discovered it, it's been a godsend. Like it's the only real pain management that's worked for me. So I'm very open about that and preaching that to a lot of people. But yeah, so like I know here in Illinois, it's really easy to get the med cards. Like it's super simple to get them. So some people choose to do that, but I also just know better people and better products.
Bain, do us a favor and just get out of here and come back in. See if your camera turns back on.
Fuck, man.
Can't even
Jesus
see
Christ.
you.
I've been staring at those two fucking dots spinning the
All
whole
right.
time he was talking.
All right, hold on.
Like,
Give me
dude.
one second. I'll be back. I'll be back.
I feel like, dude, technology is so weird because like the same thing happens with all of my shit. Is like sometimes you go to use it and it's almost like it just like, you know, when you're trying to talk to somebody and you lose your thought mid train of thought and you're just like, oh, there's like a glitch in the system. You know what I mean? And then you just have to just move on. I feel like technology's like that. Like sometimes you'll be like trying to boot something up and it'll just sit there forever, like thinking about it. And then you go,
all the time.
all right. And then you restart it and it's fine. You know what I mean? Dude, that even happens on my phone with like fucking, I'll be trying to open up like a website and it'll just sit there loading for like 5 minutes. And then I just hit refresh and it comes up immediately. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yep.
What's that necklace say that you have on?
Oh my God. People ask me that all the time.
Those are in right now. I see a bunch of people with I don't know what would you call that? Is that a pendant?
Can you see me now?
Oh, this one? Yes, we can see you.
Dang.
The necklace says Papi Gordo on it.
What's that?
So Gus for the longest time wanted me to call him fucking Papi Gordo when we were together.
Nice. What does that mean?
Fat Daddy.
Fat Daddy.
I told him he came up with names for himself, like on the back of his paintball jersey. The name on the back of his paintball jersey says Girth Brooks 666.
Nice.
Just shit like that. Like he came up with shit like that all the time, and whenever he would talk to his friends and shit, like he'd always be like, "I'm Papi Gordo," and
that's fucking funny.
He would be like, "Why don't you call me that?" And I'm like, "Gus, I'm not fucking calling you Papi Gordo." And I was like, "I'll put you on my phone as Papi Gordo if you want." And he was like, "It's not the same." So when he passed, I got these necklaces for myself and a few of our other really close friends with him.
Sick.
So we all wear them now.
Sick.
Yeah. Yeah, that was his thing.
Brie got one of those. I think it just had her date of birth, which is like trendy right now. People have those, but it like tarnished mad fast. Like I don't know if she just got like a cheap shitty one, but after like 2 weeks, it was like just like stainless instead of gold.
Oh, she should go on Etsy. I got mine from Etsy, and you can get it customized. And there's actually, it's pretty quality. I've had this one now for the first. There was one that I had, but it did end up breaking because it was pretty frail. And I just made a note of that. Like I do a lot of things, and they just make it more sturdy. And now I've had this for like 7, 8 months now, wearing it every day, day and night. So in the shower, everything.
Nice.
I have a gold chain. It's not like real. It's like gold plated. I usually take it off to shower, but I pretty much wear it every day, and it hasn't like tarnished at all. So I don't know if she just had bad luck or like I don't know.
Probably.
I don't know why we're talking about how we got on this.
Hey, real quick, Grace, can we see the hoops? Can we see that big hoop energy? Yeah, queen.
Always.
Big hoop energy. Here for it.
Those are back in too. Hoops. Everything. I feel like everything from the 90s is coming back right now.
Big hoops have always been my thing since I was young, especially when I cut off all my hair because I was just like, because you could show them off. But yeah, this has always been my thing.
Dude, that's a sick thing. If you,
Bain, when is your next meet gonna be? Oh, sorry.
No worries. I was just gonna say, if you ride a wave for long enough, it always comes back in. That's a sick thing. And then you can be like, I was doing it the whole time.
I was doing it before it was cool.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean?
Yep, it's true. Not wrong.
I'm gonna pee real quick. You wanna? I forget what you just asked him, but let me pee and you guys can.
Yeah, take your headphones off. We don't want to hear that.
Just keep it going.
Yeah, for sure. I know how to talk. It's good.
I was just asking and for your next meet to be.
Hopefully you can hear me because you broke up there for a second. Am I good? All right, cool.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, internet being suspect. So not sure. Like, truth be told, I really did want to try to qualify for the WPO with this meet. It didn't happen, unfortunately. So I was going to keep my options open. It does depend on my work travel schedule, which is
Right.
fairly stacked up. Like I'm in Vegas for 7 days in January. I'll be somewhere in I believe in Miami in February. I'm in Orlando for 2.5 weeks in March. April's open. May I'm going to be in Northwest
Wow.
Arkansas and possibly Florida for a total of like 10 days. So just getting a complete training cycle in is kind of tough. But that's just
It is.
unfortunately the nature of my job. Plus, there's other things that will come up just like ad hoc with like having to go see clients. This is just my conference travel schedule right now.
Right.
So
Plus, you have all your kids.
yeah, I got all these little
Too.
tiny terrorists running around my house, and I got to deal with all their stuff. So all children are, by the way, is the small terrorists.
That's the reason why I don't want them.
Yeah, like and I love my children. I desperately love my kids, but I do give them a lot of crap because it is sometimes like negotiating with terrorists. They don't play fair, but I am stoked. We talked about like the shittiness of men in this sport because that is definitely a thing.
Mhm.
I wanted to come back to that because that's one of the dope things that I've gotten to experience as a father of 2 daughters and the ladies that I can point them to and how awesome that is.
Mhm.
Like there's guys I can point my sons to and like they're generally okay, but unfortunately we seem to see more and more guys that we thought were dope are actually just shitheads that covered up really good.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. What the fuck?
Yeah. So, but it's cool. Like I can point my daughters to, women like you or like Leah or like Laura. And like, y'all have no idea how cool it was to introduce my mom and my wife to all of you at the meet. It's like, dude, like this is so fucking dope. Like 2 of the most important women in my life meeting some of the strongest, most badass ladies in the world. Like this is fucking dope. And then my kids get to see that too.
It was really cool meeting your family.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And you guys get to meet my son too. He thought it was cool. And, because he's like, well, Dad, these are like the ladies that you spot at like the big meets, right? I'm like, yeah, but like these are some of the baddest people on the planet. He's like, that's cool. That's so fun.
Uh-huh.
And his best friend, she has like really, really like taken to the sport. Like she loves coming to train with her dad and coming to train with all of us. And she like couldn't even get up like the courage to come talk to you all because he's like, these are like the ladies you all talk about. I'm like, absolutely, Jenna, but trust me, I will take you to go meet them next time.
Oh.
So that's one of the things that I love about the sport is like, if nothing else, that's why I want to stay tethered to it because I want my kids to be able to be around people like that.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's probably one of the biggest takeaways from the sport is all the amazing women that I've met for sure.
Absolutely.
And that I've become so close to.
Absolutely. I'm here for it.
I think we're all here for it. Like the women that I train around, like I can go to them for anything, not just lifting stuff. It's like, hey, I'm having this issue in life. Like, what do you think about it? What would you suggest I do? And especially Laura, because she's so like very like level-headed, and calm about things. Whereas like usually if something happens to me, like I will immediately get angry and like I'll have to kind of reel myself in to make the the proper response or whatever. And so a lot of times I can go to Laura and be like, I'm fucking mad about this. What do you think?
You see Laura's like, it's okay to be mad. Let's talk about how not to be mad now.
Right. So I'm very lucky. And Cosette, I mean, I've talked about ranted and raved about her a lot in the past. She's definitely somebody you want to know in your life. And she's been awesome.
She is my mom's favorite powerlifter because they're basically the same size, and my mom just thinks that's so cool.
Yeah.
Is your mom mad short like that? Because that's so short. It's
Mom,
like crazy.
Carol's I think she's 4'8" now. She was 4'9" when I was growing up, but she's just in her 60s. But yeah, like you see the picture, like she's not a big woman. She's probably $120 at the most. And
I feel like people that are that small like live mad long though. Like,
oh yeah, she'll live forever, which I'm fine with because Carol Bain's a saint, and she just has the biggest heart for people. Like she's just an unbelievable human being. And I see that both as her son, but also just as someone who knows her. Like my mom is the one who taught me how to love people. My mom is the one who taught me like every person you meet is somebody worth cheering for. Every single one, doesn't matter what they're like. Every single person is worth cheering for.
Bro, honestly, I feel like becoming a stoner taught me how to love people way more and like have more empathy and shit. Because like I was never like an asshole, but like I definitely I definitely used to talk more shit and not look at other people's perspectives as much as I do now. And part of that was like being younger, because like
Sure.
before I started smoking a lot and stuff, I was like early 20s, late teens. So like part of it's that and just growing up. But also I feel like just like getting stoned all the time and then thinking about things more thoroughly and thinking about them with more of an open mind. I feel like it carries over even if you stop smoking. You've had those thoughts now, and so it carries over, and you're thinking about things differently. That's why me and Brie are like semi interested in trying mushrooms too, because we want to like
do it,
even if it's a one-time thing, like just to have like that different like perspective. You know what I mean? Because I would imagine it's the same as like when you get high, is like the mindset carries over into
absolutely.
So I can't smoke weed because we get tested.
Okay.
But shrooms, however, I can do. And
is it because they can't test for that, or because they just don't?
The half-life isn't anywhere near as long.
Oh shit! That's okay.
And that being said, if you guys decide to do shrooms, I would make it in a point, which you guys are both like thriving in life right now. So I usually say like you should do it when you're in a good place in life.
Good mindset, yeah.
Yes, a good mindset, because you
avoid
don't know
the bad trip, man.
Yes, yeah. You don't know what kind of trip you're gonna have. And the thing about tripping is it's like you need to make sure that you are open to it and just like to go along with it, because if you resist it, then you're gonna have a bad trip. So
you're gonna have a bad time.
You're gonna have a bad time. So I definitely recommend doing the shrooms. Just and don't don't take it and then be like, I don't feel anything, and then take more. Like just
I have enough experience with that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. So we've talked about this with like a group of us. I won't name any names because some folks said this could potentially be problematic for them. But the individual who was like giving his experience, he's a even compared to us, is a much larger human. And
I know who you're talking about already.
Kind of did the same thing and was like, no, don't, because it could be again problematic for him. But he talked about it. He's like, like I didn't think it was really affecting me, and then I ended up taking like this massive dosage, and he was basically tripping for almost 2 days.
Dude, the thing is with shit like that is like people don't get that, like it's not going to take the same amount of time every time either, because like it depends on what's in your stomach, your digestive tract. It depends on like how much you take. It depends on like the time of day and like what's going on with like just like your blood flow, your brain chemistry, like. Because dude, I've made that mistake with edibles before, and you learn not to make that mistake anymore. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. But he also gave the experience where he did all this, but then it mellowed him out so much, because he did all this like probably 3-4 months into COVID, and as he's had to deal with so many different things at work and in life, and his partner dealing with a whole lot of stress, he's like, I am just level for all of it. He's like, it almost like depleted my like anxiety. And depression.
I know some people that were like high strung assholes that have totally changed.
It just he said it was like it just emptied the tank just fully. That's why I'm like totally interested in that.
You could even microdose too, which is what I'll do sometimes, just for like sleeping and stuff like that. So yeah, I definitely recommend the shrooms. And honestly, psychedelics are studied a lot for just like psychotherapy type stuff too. And so it's becoming more popular and a little bit more accepted, because obviously for so long there was this stigma against them, which in reality they really help kind of create that awakening amongst yourself, kind of like how you were talking about that we did for you to have a little bit more reflection. So I highly recommend.
Yeah,
expand your mind, bro.
I'm just interested. Like I said, it's definitely impacted the weed has impacted my personality in a good way. I feel like I like who I am better after it, after starting doing it. So I definitely want to experiment a little bit with that. I think.
Samesies.
Yeah, in case it's the same.
Speaking of digestion and stuff, I just want to say that it was an absolute pleasure to work with you during this meat prep.
Thank you.
It really was.
Appreciate it.
Can confirm.
Yeah, I cannot like emphasize to people enough because I'd be like, oh well, I can't eat this because I'm eating this. Like I'm on a diet right now, and it wasn't like I was on a diet to lose weight. No, I was on a diet to gain weight.
Yeah.
And do it the right way, which was a big thing for me. Is like I wanted to eat the proper foods to put on the weight and stuff, and like I just ranted and raved about you all the time. So just want to say thank you again.
Appreciate it. Yeah, you got jacked too, big time.
I mean that picture of me and my mom stand, like I've shown that to a lot of people, and a lot of folks just ask like, "Holy shit, what are you doing?" Like some people ask, "What am I on?" Like, and I was like,
I was thinking the same shit when I saw that, bro. I was like, what is he doing? This picture's a little sus.
Yeah, no, I was like, this is the work that, I mean, don't get me wrong, like it's the work I put in the gym and all that, and actually eating the stuff, like from an architectural standpoint, this is Sean, Steve, and Stan.
Hell yeah, man! Thank you.
So it was pretty dope. Like even my mom said,
triple S.
Yeah. My mom said, you look awesome. That is rare because my mom's always afraid of how much bigger I've gotten since I started doing this, and she's like, honey, you look awesome.
Yeah,
that was nice.
You're about to look really awesome because you guys are both gonna suffer starting next week.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
Okay.
It's Saturday. Yeah, what's up? What have you been binging on this week?
Oh my god, I am like so grossed out with myself at this point, but I'm like, just enjoy it, Grace. Just let it happen.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. You deserve it.
Exactly. So the first day I had Chick-fil-A. No, right after the meet I had Wendy's. The next day I had Chick-fil-A.
What'd you get at Wendy's?
Tuesday I had Skyline. Just like chicken nuggets and fries.
Okay, all right.
I didn't want to get a Frosty
spicy nuggets,
because I was driving back. No.
Are you kidding me? You got to go to the spicy nuggets at Wendy's.
Look, I hadn't had fast food. I hadn't had fast food in how long since I've been working with you?
Probably
and I had a
5
5-hour drive back to Chicago. I was like, look, we got to keep it simple because we don't know what's going to happen.
You don't want to get 2 hours from home and all of a sudden, oh boy, you can feel that the detonator's been hit.
Yeah.
So I just kept it simple, just chicken nuggets and fries.
Okay. What was the Chick-fil-A order?
And then, I love the Cobb salad from there.
I haven't had that.
With the fried chicken nuggets. The chicken nuggets with
those
the
are
Cobb
good.
salad, it's fucking bomb.
Dude, chicken nuggets and waffle fries?
Yeah.
What sauce you do at Chick-fil-A?
I did do the waffle fries. No, the chicken nuggets were in the salad.
Okay.
No, it's the avocado ranch dressing.
I like the Polynesian sauce the best for all like the chicken nuggets and stuff. It's like that one. That's the sweet and sour, basically, right? I think that's the Polynesian.
So,
yeah. I don't really like the Chick-fil-A sauce that much, to be honest.
So yeah, Skyline on Tuesday. What else? What other
Skyline
Fritos?
on Tuesday. Wednesday was a holiday party at work, so I just ate what was there. I had like some cookies. I had like a buffalo chicken wrap, just simple shit, whatever they had. Thursday, I had dinner at a Mediterranean place.
That's like pretty healthy shit usually, though. Yeah, like Mediterranean foods.
Yeah, at that
usually.
point, I was like, it's not bad at all.
Or were you just not feeling that good, so you went a little light and got Mediterranean? Is that what?
I was honestly at this point, I was like, okay, like I'm kind of tired of eating like shit. So
it's weird. Like after a few days, you're like, Jesus, I just don't feel right.
Yeah, I could see the difference. I was like, I could see that I was bloated and stuff, and I was like, and I was uncomfortable in my clothes at work.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And then yesterday at work, we had another holiday party, so I had pizza, turkey chili, this dip that my coworker made called Cowboy Crack.
Okay.
Croissant roll thing, and then last night I came home and I got dinner and watched the new season of The Witcher, and I got chicken hibachi and crab rangoon.
Nice. You didn't go too crazy.
And then I have another holiday party tonight, so we'll see what's there.
Nice. Hell yeah. What about you, Bane? Did you
The
binge
deal.
this week or no?
Not a ton, actually, because I was traveling for work, so I was up in upstate New York, and I intentionally always stay in a hotel that has a kitchen in it.
Yeah.
And so I actually stayed pretty close. I just upped some of the sauces and
Yeah.
seasoning. So
Yeah.
it was a rotation of sirloin tips and chicken thighs and potatoes, but basically the entire week.
Nice.
Until Thursday, we had our big like project wrap dinner. This big project we've been doing is like we've been working with this client for almost 2 years, and the project wrapped on Thursday. And so we took the owners out to dinner. It was really, really nice restaurant in I think it's Farmington, New York.
Yep.
Over by like Rochester, Syracuse, that area. And awesome dinner. I had one drink. But then I had
Nice.
2 desserts. I had a tiramisu and then one of like the peppermint like holiday cake that they make.
Ooh,
Oh, it was so good. And then I had
love peppermint.
so like my coworker challenged me. He's like, so I know you can eat, and he's like, you know that we're way under budget on this project, so let's go to town. I'm like, that was the wrong thing to say to me, my friend. So I think it was I went through 2 dozen oysters, 2 dozen shrimp as appetizers. I had a salad. I had their 8-ounce sirloin steak, as well as their scallops, and then I had the 2 desserts and a lot of water and a beer.
Holy fuck, dude.
It was a great night. It was so nice. And then when I got home last night, that was the only other binge I had. When I got home yesterday, I ordered tacos for lunch. It's a taco spot down the street from my house that I just love. And so I had like a lot of tacos, like a lot.
Dude, I love some tacos. Fuck.
Dude, and they make some bomb al pastor tacos in this
I'm
place.
waiting on Christmas Eve every year. I eat Chinese food basically one time a year, and it's we go over her family's for Christmas Eve, and they order a shit ton of Chinese food, and I'm just gonna fucking binge on Friday night. I'm gonna eat so much fucking Chinese food,
yeah.
and then I'm gonna regret it for 3 days.
Especially the next morning.
I just get like, dude, when I eat like that, I just get such bad heartburn, and it just like it just lasts.
Mhm.
Like it's just continuous. But you know what? Fuck it. Right? One time thing.
Yeah.
That
It's
was
a holiday. Let's
exactly.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Remember, it's a holiday, not a holiday season.
I know, dude. I have
It's
to
a
tell
holiday.
It's a
people that.
holiday.
Trust
Yeah.
me.
I had that conversation with some people where it was an industry event and I was being interviewed, and I'm known on LinkedIn as the strongest man in logistics, and so they actually asked me about that, like, oh, can you give us some tips for losing weight? And I'm like, no. Are you kidding me? Like, do I look like I lose weight?
Yeah. What are you weighing right now, Bane?
This morning I was 264.
Okay.
So not too far off what I was at the meet. I weighed in at like 262 for the meet. So,
And how long of an off season are we taking?
well, we were just talking about that. It kind of depends. I would love to do a meet in the summertime, but it just depends on my work travel schedule. Right now I've got a pretty solid amount just booked for conferences, let alone actual like client delivery stuff. So as far as like the next meet, who knows, but we're looking probably at least 6 months just to kind of get the work stuff cleared up. Because we're in this like hyper growth mode, and it's a good problem to have that we're growing really fast, but it can be a pain in the butt when it comes to training.
Okay.
6 months is a good time. Good time to get some solid training in there, and
Yeah, and
I think
there's
that's
some tweaks we got to make technique wise. Like I got to get better at my pickups, and we got to get this bench thing figured out.
So 6 months in reality though is only a 3-month off season.
Realistically,
My
yeah.
fucking dog is ripping through the house right now.
Because APF Nationals is here in Chicago in June, and I'm heavily debating doing that because then WPC Worlds will be in Florida. I wouldn't mind going to Tested Nationals in Gatlinburg because Tested Worlds is in Manchester, England, and I had a blast when I was there last time, but I don't know that I want to do an international geared meet for like my 3rd meet.
Okay. All right. Well, if we only have 3
that's a
months,
lot.
then you're gonna get a pretty fucking aggressive diet.
So we'll see. Like I said, I got to decide if this is the meet I want to do or if I want to wait and maybe do north of the border in November.
Yeah. I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but that would definitely probably be better.
Yeah.
But I'll
Yeah, I
adjust.
was
I'll
gonna
adjust
say.
for either.
So it's up to Sean. Really, he's the one who's going to pick which ones we do. So we'll see.
Okay. Well, let
Like,
me
I'll
how
let
do
know.
you like training?
Hmm?
I say, how do you like training with all those guys and stuff? Like
I love it.
I talk to Sean every once in a while, but
You talk to Pat quite a bit, don't you?
I say Pat and I are really tight.
Yeah. No, Pat's
So
that and I have an interesting relationship. Everybody thought that we hated each other, and I'm like, no, like we have like he and I just like we communicate very differently. Like we're down, we're tight. I love those guys. When I walked into the place we used to train together, uh, that was the group I wanted to be a part of. And I remember talking with Sean and Steve a little bit, and they would give me like input every now and then, and like you're strong, like and they help me out whenever I asked, and I just always wanted to be a part of that crew. And then when that group left that training facility and started their own thing, they invited me to come. Like absolutely, like because I don't like being like in the top like couple 3 strongest people in a group because like I'm not going to get pushed. I am so middle guys.
we didn't hear any of that, Bain.
He broke up.
Oh, he's still frozen.
Oh.
Bain. I was gonna say something and I forgot. Oh, you're back. You're back.
Wait,
you're back.
There he is.
So you like being in the middle of the road, is what we hear. Yes?
What about now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hey, there we go.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you just fine.
Yeah, we get the gist of what you're saying. So you like training with people that are stronger with you because it just pushes you. I mean, that makes total sense. Like, obviously.
Yeah, like that's what I want. And the nice thing too is at any one time, any one of us could be the alpha that day. Yeah, and that's what we all need. Me and Sean only talk if it's about shoes or fashion. Me and Sean talking over Instagram is the strangest 2 people talking to each other because he's like old and grungy and tattooed like crazy, and I'm just like a young dude. Also tattooed like crazy and kind of grungy.
I wouldn't say I'm. I'm
fucking with you.
Dan is more, in the pretty category, and Sean's more in the grungy category.
Yeah.
So here's the thing about Sean. If folks can, get to know him and chat with him, he is one of the smartest people you'll ever meet. He truly is. Like he understands training, he understands business, he understands life. He's a very, very wise man. That's what I count him as a good friend because like he and I have a lot of deeper conversations aside from just training shit. And he is deceptively intelligent because people don't always look past that kind of grunge exterior. But he's unbelievably smart, and he's a phenomenal person to know.
He's got a good
Sean's a cool dude.
Good fashion sense when he wants to too. Outside of his gym.
He posted this bag that he got. I think it was a Louis Vuitton, and I was like, "Oh my god! If you wear this, like, you're probably my new fucking favorite person." Like, I love it when men wear that shit. Ugh.
Yeah, like, he's all about it. He's all about it.
And he doesn't like the thing about him too is like he doesn't give a fuck, and I love that.
And he backs all of it up too. Like I won't mention the name of the person, but everyone knows who it was when he rolled up on somebody, smacked the shit out of him, and took their Arnold belt. And then auctioned it off for charity. One of my favorite stories ever. Opening Instagram and Facebook every day to see what the latest is on that. That was just the best.
That was a couple of years ago now.
3, 4.
All right, guys, you want to bring this one in?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I think I've run out of things to talk about.
Amateur.
That's all I got, man. I mean, like I said,
you can't talk for 2.5 hours and don't even podcast.
Well, usually I get questions in, and then the questions, we never even get through all of them because usually I get sick of podcasting before I get through them. But I didn't get questions.
But this was nice. This was nice and chill. It was just like hanging out.
It's also hard with you two because I talk to you two every week.
That's fair.
So we don't have a lot to catch up on. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what are we going to talk about? Shit that we were just talking about already? Like yesterday.
Well,
what I mean?
We talked about a dope ass meet here at 2XL in Chicago. It was awesome. It was super fun. Only person missing was you, Stanley. Grace had her swan song, and I think that
you're gonna be at the Pro-Am though, right? So we'll hang out there.
Oh, absolutely. So nice. Lily is the plan is Lily's gonna compete at the Pro-Am on the amateur day.
Oh,
and she's pretty stoked about it. So I showed her the video of Jessica Springer's last deadlift from last year's. Or this year's, I should say, so it will end up being last year's. And then showed her the picture that Wiggins took of Leah's squat and like everybody in the crowd. And Lily's like, "Oh, I gotta fucking be there. I want to do that." I'm like, "Well, 7 p.m. tomorrow night. I'll try to get you in." She's 16.
How old is Lily? Okay, we have a girl at our gym. She's one of Laura's clients. She's 12 years old and she's doing amateur day. I'm really excited for her to do that. So
And I think we're gonna bring our youngest out. She will be 12 by that point. So I think we're gonna bring Ella out too because I want her to see that atmosphere as well because she's, kids suck. So good to get
well,
her
I'm
in
just
environments
so
like that.
yeah, I'm really excited to see all these younger women getting like interested in strength sports and just
Mhm.
knowing that like weights and shit are cool. Like you're not gonna have some weird like stereotype against you because you're participating in this type of stuff. So
Like your shirt says,
I'm really
stronger
excited.
people are harder to kill.
Yep.
Pretty dope.
That is a cool shirt. I like that guy's stuff. He's actually really chill too. I've met him a couple times. Yeah. So when we're in Ohio, we gotta get food for sure.
Yeah.
I know. I think you said you might be working, Grace, for the pro-am, but obviously you'll be around, I assume, right? Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get those days off. I'll find out at the beginning of the year, and work the pro-am. If not, like I work till like 2:30,
yeah,
and then I'll just
exactly.
go right over. So
Yeah. Hell yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah, so
I'll be there no matter
I'll
what.
handle Lily on the amateur day and then the pro day. As long as Laura will have me, which it sounds like they will, I will bring my talents back to the platform at least one more time.
Yes.
Hell yeah. I'll be there for probably all day, both days, just because I want to like. There's so many people I want to see that I haven't seen since before COVID now. So what, 2019, which is crazy.
Yeah,
which is crazy
weird.
to think. But yeah, there's a lot of people out there that I want to see. So I'm gonna go both days
Dude,
and just shoot the shit with whoever's there.
That pro day is going to be nothing nice. That roster is stacked.
It is. It's very stacked
Like,
roster.
I am so excited for that day.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick. The only thing that sucks is they're all gonna be competing, so I can't like hang out with them. You know what I mean?
We'll get there. Let's take Monday off too.
Yeah, I might. I haven't decided yet if it's just gonna be like a quick weekend trip or if it's gonna be a couple extra days.
Well,
But-
and I'm off on Mondays, so
Oh, really?
yeah.
Yeah, maybe we could train.
Yeah, we'll just see what's going on with
great.
school stuff and all that fun stuff with the kiddos. So
Yeah, I gotta figure. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Anyways, guys, this was
It's a
good.
pleasure.
it's fun.
Absolutely, dude. I gotta start doing this more often. It's always fun doing it, but I never want to do it. Which is why when we scheduled today at 2, I was like, oh, I don't want to spend all morning like thinking that I have something to do at 2:00. I just don't like to schedule shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I would podcast every week if it was just like if I could just like
On a whim.
text someone, what are you doing in 5 minutes? You know what I mean? But you kind of have to like set it up with people.
Yeah.
So
For those of us who are adult, it's kind of a thing.
I know, for real, dude.
Oh, and Stan, once I'm back in the house and I have Mondays off again, we can start playing Final Fantasy again.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I'm pumped for that.
All right, sounds good.
All right,
guys.
I'll be good. If I don't talk to you beforehand, have a very happy holidays. And I'll talk to you, Stan.
See ya.
Oh yeah, we'll talk.